Welcome back to the channel where we focus less on trying and more on being the best version of ourselves. Today is the day that you've probably all been waiting for. How to manifest your SP back for good. Because you don't want to just manifest them back. You want them to stay, right? Right. It is, obviously, as you can tell by the title of this video, it is okay for you to manifest an SP. If you are new and you don't know what an SP is, it is a specific person. We are specifically talking about an ex-specific person. So somebody that you've been in a relationship with in the past that you want to come back into your life and to stay for good. Disclaimer time. It is up to you to figure out if manifesting this SP is the best step for you personally in your own life for your journey. I'm giving you all the information, all the tools you need to do whatever you will do. All the power is in your hands. This is your thing in your life. I'm just telling you what works. I'm just giving you the information. After I have given you the knowledge, what you choose to do with it is for you. Please do what's best for you. Whether or not you want to manifest an SP or anything, any desire that you have is your choice. It's up to you to figure out whether or not that's actually something that you want in your life. Regardless, it doesn't mean that you can or cannot manifest it. Anything you want, it's yours. I am just here to lead you through this process with the least room for error as possible. This is not something that should make you spiral. I know that there are vulnerable people out here looking for this information, and the last thing that I want to do is come on here with the intention of helping people and unintentionally help somebody hurt themselves. That's the only reason that I do this. And there's nothing wrong with whatever you want to do. It is your journey, good, bad, ugly. You created that experience for yourself, whether or not you choose to learn from it, whether or not you choose to grow from that experience, also all up to you. So don't hold me responsible for what you do with this information is pretty much what I'm trying to say. Okay, thank you. Obviously, like with everything else that I say, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it, move on. It's fine, doesn't hurt my feelings. Like I said, I'm here to give you the best of my knowledge, the best of my experience, so that you can go through your experience, hopefully, with a lot less having to bang your head against the wall and repeat the same cycles over and over again because you can't get it through your thick skull. Okay, I'm talking to me, but also maybe I'm talking to you. So here it is. I think you should at least listen. And I think that if you do, that things will work out very well for you. But again, I can't control what you do. Only you can do that. So, all right, here we go. The most important thing when it comes to manifesting a specific person, especially if this person is an ex, if you guys have past experience, if you already have a story about you in relation to this person, is, can I get a drum roll? What do you think it is? Guess right now in the comments what you think I'm about to say. Ding, ding, ding. Self-concept. Yeah, it is self-concept. Who would have thunk? If not for this specific manifestation, then just for your quality of life overall. It's always baffled me so much how people resist and fight against fixing their self-concept. The thing about it that people don't get is that once you fix your self-concept, there's really very little else that you have to fix for anything that you manifest. It literally just solves so many problems. We talked about this in the last video. Who are you? Who are you and who are you being? Who do you really think that you are? That is what your self-concept is. It's the self-image. Who am I as an identity? Who am I as a personality? And especially in this case, who am I in relation to this specific person? Who am I in a relationship? Who am I when I'm in love? Who am I when I'm being the highest version of myself in this loving, committed relationship? You have to be very clear about who that person is, because if you don't know who that version of you is and you aren't being that version and you manifest back in your ex-SP, you are going to create the same cycle that got you to where you are now. That is why people believe so heavily in karmic cycles, why they think that they're repeating the same cycle with the same person over and over again, and that they're supposed to learn this lesson and they need to keep going back to try to figure out what the lesson is, but really the lesson is that they really need to look at themselves. So many problems that were really never even problems in the first place. Your self-concept. You have to become a new version of you in order to call in a new version of this person. It's not the method that you're using. It's not the amount of times that you're affirming. It's not how detailed you can get in your visualization. It is you. It is your self-concept. That, above all else, stands alone from methods. Your self-concept is not a method. It is literally who you are. What do you think about you? I think that some people don't take the time to think about what they think about themselves. They just let an old story play on repeat over and over and over again, and constantly are thinking that they're stuck in these cycles and these versions of themselves and in these versions of these people, but yet they have not changed their perception enough to be able to even experience a new version of a person. You would not be able to recognize them. You wouldn't know what to do with it. If the highest version of your SP came up to you and you were in a state of lack, you were in a state of desperation, you were needy, you didn't feel good enough, you didn't feel like you were worthy, you didn't feel like anybody would ever want to commit to you, nobody would ever want to be with you, what makes you think you're going to look at that person and say, yeah, this person definitely wants to be with me? Yeah, this person definitely thinks I'm the woman of their dreams or the man of their dreams. Couldn't care less about myself, but surely this person will care about me. No. If you don't even like yourself, what makes you think you're going to be able to jump and make the leap that this person likes you when you don't even like you? Or you don't even think that you're worthy of this person liking you? Your self-concept literally encompasses everything. It doesn't have to, and it shouldn't always be about you in relation to this person. That is an important key, and yes, that is a factor as well that needs to be included. But the most important thing is, who are you? Who are you being? I will probably say this in every video till the day that I die. The thing about it is, it's so simple that you don't even have to go through all the different variables and try to figure out what needs to be changed in order for you to get what you want, in order for you to be in a fulfilled, loving relationship with your SP. The only variable that matters is not even SP. Not even SP. It's you. So if you are able to change your story about yourself, about who you are, and about what you're worthy of, what you're deserving of having, the experience that you want to live, and you are able to live that experience now, your SP will come in reflecting that to you, because you would not accept a negative version of them. You would not accept an older version of them, because you are in a state where you know what you're worthy of, you know what your value is, and somebody who is coming up to you and showing you that they can't appreciate that value, you wouldn't even give them a second thought. You wouldn't even look at them twice. Putting you up on the pedestal is where we need to begin, especially when we're talking about X specific people that you have a past with, people that you already have experience with, people that you've already built negative assumptions around because you've been through this cycle before. You need to be up on the pedestal. When people find it difficult to take their SP off of the pedestal, when you say you think you can't do something, great, you can't because you think you can't. Anyway, what I would suggest is not to focus more on SP and more on taking them off the pedestal. That doesn't really make much sense. Instead, just put you up there too. Let's start there. We at least need to be right here. Even the playing field, okay? Work on it. And it doesn't have to be a big process. Dark night of the soul, figuring out yourself and going through all your trauma and experience. I don't like the version that I am right now because it doesn't make me feel good, especially when SP is in my reality. When we're face to face, that's triggering, and I don't like the way that that makes me feel. What is a better feeling? Can I find a better feeling? What would a better version of me feel like? What would a version of me who put in this situation would feel like they are capable, like they are worthy, like they are deserving, like this is a natural experience to them? What would that version of me be thinking right now? What would they be doing? How would they act in this scenario? Can I be more like that person now? What can I do right now in my day-to-day reality to bring me closer to that version of myself who is fully in love with myself, fully knowing my worth, fully knowing my value, and knowing that any man, let alone SP, would be lucky to be with me? Find that self-concept. Literally, that's it. Who do you want to be? It's not who do you think you're capable of being, who have you been in the past, who would you be if only this person would love you. No, who are you now because you say you are that person now and because that version of you makes you feel good independently. When people skip this step, when people manifest out of lack or neediness or desperation or manifest a specific person when their self-concept is in the shitter, this is why you see people with on-again, off-again relationships, toxic relationships, narcissistic relationships, these cycles of just fighting and arguing and getting back together and trying to figure out, oh, what's wrong with me? Or no, it was this person and I blame you for this and I blame me for that. And we're going to have to go through this again and we need to rehash this and we need to have a conversation about this and please don't do this to me again. And the story never ends. It just keeps going. You will constantly find something to nitpick about. If you do not change that version of yourself that was in this state of just disharmony, just not conducive to any type of love, any type of creativity, any type of safety, just anything that is good that people actually want to experience in a relationship. If you don't change that version of yourself, how do you expect to be able to accept an experience of your SP treating you that way? If you don't feel like you're capable of being loved, if SP shows up trying to offer you love, do you think you're going to take it or do you think you're going to self-sabotage? Be honest with yourself. These are questions for you. This doesn't affect me. I always say that. This doesn't affect me at all. This is about you. I want you to do what's best for you and to also get what you want. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process. You just have to be honest with yourself, first and foremost, about what you really want and about why you're really doing this and about what you're really capable of doing and then about what you really want to experience. It seems like a lot, but really it's not. Self-concept is foundational. And once you do this, no matter if your ex-SP comes back, if a new SP comes in, if you decide that you want to be alone, if you decide that you just want to go out and float in the abyss and see what happens, let the divine control whatever happens in your love relationships, you will always be taken care of. If you go even more general and work on your self-concept around all things, not just yourself in relationships, you will see that reflected to you in all areas of your life. Always, no matter what you're manifesting, it's going to come so much easier, so much more effortlessly. You're going to have to do a lot less work because you're sure about what you're capable of. You know who you are, and that's just that. Nobody's going to tell you or make you second guess who you are. You are going to be the one looking into your experience and saying, okay, do I accept this or do I not accept this? Is this in the highest version of my life or is this not? Is this an old version of me? Is this an old version of this person or is it not? You get to decide from that standpoint of prioritizing yourself and knowing your value and your worth, what you're going to accept and what you're not. And when you don't do that work, you don't know what to accept. Never appreciating you, never telling you how much you mean to them, how important you are to them, never prioritizing you, never putting you on the pedestal, whatever it is. If you're not that higher version of yourself, if you don't have that solid self-concept, you'll just accept anything because you're needy and you're desperate. And that just is what it is. That's what comes with being in that state. And that's what being in that state attracts, because your state is what builds your reality. It's what your reality is based on. So when you change your state, when you change your self-concept, you change your reality and everybody else in it. So really, you could focus entirely on yourself and not about SP at all and still manifest that exact specific person and other people. Options. And if you don't want the options, don't worry about the options, but the options will come. And so will that specific person. And you'll be in a state where you are ready to accept that person into your life and not go back through this cycle of heartache and heartbreak. You don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to do that anymore. And you're not going to do that anymore because you're going to do this. You're going to work on your self-concept and you're going to know that you are the person who is worthy of being in this relationship so that when it comes in, you can accept it. So remember that everyone is you pushed out, especially if you have a history with this person of you guys fighting and you arguing and all these situations and scenarios coming up and you're like, well, that one definitely wasn't my fault and I only did this because he did this and then this happened and he was with her and I saw his phone, and then you just go down the rabbit hole and you start telling the story of an old version that we want nothing to do with anymore. So the next thing you need to do is eradicate the old story. The old story is done. We want nothing to do with an old version of SP. We are manifesting in a new version of SP because we are a new version of self and we need a shiny new version of SP to go along with it. You want this new story to entail both of you being new and better versions of yourself so that when this person comes into reality, they're not triggering you into an old version of yourself, causing you to spiral, causing you to go back to who you used to be, and therefore recreating an old version of the old SP that you don't want anymore. Is this making sense? I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I feel like it's necessary because I really want you to get this. I really want you to understand that it actually does all start with you. It really is all connected to that state. It's all connected to who you are, the stories that you're telling about yourself first and foremost, and then you in relation to everything else. So along with changing your story about yourself, along with changing your self-concept, you need to change the story of your SP. Whether you need to revise it, whether you need to affirm it, whether you just want to visualize, whether you just want to completely disregard whoever it is, forget that person existed and just move forward thinking of this new version of SP, whatever feels most comfortable and most natural to you is what you should do. But you want to create this new version of SP in your mind or on paper or through your mental movies or whatever you're doing. In your mind, not in the 3D. It is not now your job, now that you're like, oh, I've got this brand new shiny self-concept. I'm the bee's knees. Let me go poke SP and see what he's doing. He should be here by now. I'm a new version of myself. I'm beautiful, hot, and gorgeous. Where is he? I don't hear any knocks. My phone's not ringing. What's going on? Nope. We're not going to go start poking the 3D. Because you, from your brand new self-concept, right, you should not feel any need to go chasing after anything, to go poking, to go prodding, and to go controlling. Here's where I'm going to get spicy. I'm going to get a little bit spicy. I need to make this known just in case you didn't see the other video. The number one thing you don't want to do is start trying to control and manipulate SP. Even if you think things should be moving faster, even if you think, well, I'm coming from this new perspective, this new higher version of myself, I should be able to do this. There is a difference between taking inspired action from the highest version of yourself, action that is along the path of least resistance, action that is on your bridge of incidence, things that feel natural, and poking the 3D, and controlling, and checking, and manipulating, and that you need to control every little thing they do. They need to conform exactly the way that you said they would, or else I need to go back and do more of this. I need to do more effort. I need to do more work. This is not working. I need to do something in my 3D. I need to go out and poke. I need to move. You don't, and you won't. You won't. I'm going to tell you exactly what happens when you try to control and manipulate somebody. Honestly, whether it's in the 3D by things that you are doing, taking physical action, or in your mind, like being obsessive, constantly, and I mean constantly affirming, like in a needy state, in a state of lack, in a state of like, I'm affirming so much because I still don't see it, so I need to keep affirming until I see it. When you're affirming from that state, when you're doing even robotic affirmations from that state, what you have to understand is that thought transmission is real. Other people can feel that energy off of you. It goes back to that self-concept. You should be moving into a version of you who doesn't need that level of control over somebody, and you should have already written a new story and created the story of you and SP that leaves no room for you to need to control anything. There should be nothing left to control. You've literally created all of this. Well, creation is finished, but you've chosen this script. So therefore it's created and it's done. What are we controlling? What are we manipulating? When you get into that state of, I really need this person to do this for me, I really need this person to act in this way, I need this person to do this or else, ... that energy radiates from you. Your SP can feel that off of you, that desperate, needy, lack energy, and they feel repulsed. It's almost like literally a force field of energy being like, stay away. Because when you're in that state of feeling like you need to control things, feeling like you need to manipulate things, feeling like it's not happening yet and that there's something more that you need to do, what you are affirming is that it's not done. It's not done. I have more work to do. I'm not this version of me yet. I don't believe that a new version of them can exist. I don't believe that this is really happening. I don't believe that this is really working yet. So let me try to do more. Let me put forth more effort. Let me try to poke around and see what I can do to make this move along a little faster. Now, let's just try to remember that all people, even specific people that you're manifesting, are in fact people. They are in fact people with their own lives, their own thoughts, their own brains, their own feelings. This person is not a robot. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into it in depth because I've already talked about this and gotten spicy about this before. There's no need for you to control anything. You should not feel the need to control another person to that level where your energy is literally repelling them away from you. At this point, there's nothing left to do. There's no more work that needs to be done. Whatever is reflecting in the 3D is no longer your business because you are living fully in the 4D. You have a new story, you have a new self-concept, you have a new SP. That's where you live. That's where you live in your mind. So whatever you see happening with them, however they're acting, whatever the situations are that are going on, whatever the circumstances are, know that if you don't like it, that's the old version. That old version has nothing to do with you. Absolutely irrelevant. You are focusing on a new version of you and of SP, and so you're moving on. You're moving on. It doesn't matter what you see with your eyes because you're focused up here so that eventually it can reflect in the 3D. The more that you stay focused on what's up here, the quicker the things outside of you will change. The more that you try to control, the more that you try to force it, the more effort that you put forth with the feeling that it's not done, I need to do more, this is not good enough, the more you'll need to do, it's not done, and the more it's not good enough. By you trying to control the situation, you're actually making it harder for yourself. You're not making it easier by thinking you're going to go out and take some action in the 3D. You're going to use your own willpower to try to change something and fix something. You're actually making it harder for yourself. Because remember, there is no one to change but self. Mirror reality. Mirror reality. What do you see when you look in the mirror? You see you. If you want to change the reflection in the mirror, what do? You just change you, and then you look in the mirror again, and then the mirror is reflecting something different because you changed. The reflection in the mirror is not going to change unless you do. You've done all that you need to do by realizing who you were, repairing your self-concept, because you were never actually broken. You were never actually this old version of yourself who kept getting you into these shitty situations. You never wanted to be that, and you never actually were that. So now you get to take control, you get to take the reins, choose who you're being, and move forward, having that beautifully reflected in your reality. That is a choice that you can make and that you should make, especially if you are manifesting an X specific person. You need to be solid. You need to be solid because you don't want this person to come in reflecting to you some crazy bullshit story and then you get triggered and then you're back in the old version of yourself and here you go with the cycle again, repeating the hot and cold behavior. Does he really want me? Should I really be manifesting my SP? Should I really do this? Should I leave and go find somebody else? Is it me? Is it them? Da 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 da. No, we've solved all that. Now you are no longer focused on controlling this old version of SP. You're not even worried about the old version of SP at all. You're focused on the new version of SP who treats you right, who treats you like you're a priority, who treats you like they're the luckiest person on this fucking planet to get to be with you, who knows that you are the prize. This is the version of SP that we are now focused on. Because when you make you a priority, when you make you a priority, SP will make you a priority. It's not the other way around. It's not when this person finally accepts me, when this person finally loves me, when this person finally wants to commit to me, then I'll be worthy. Then I'll know that I'm loved. Then I'll know that I'm cared for. No, that happens before. You figure that out before. You go into it with the full knowledge of who you are, with a full expectation that this person is coming to you knowing who you are and knowing that you're not going to accept any BS story that they want to continue to tell from the past, new version of you or no version of you. Come back when you're ready. And then just disregard it and then go back to literally being your wonderful, beautiful self and your amazing new self-concept because the rest of your life is so amazing now, independently, that you don't even have to worry about that because you already know that that's going to come. You already know that it's in the bag. You already know that SP is on their way because you have changed your concept of yourself. The only thing you ever need to control is your perception of yourself, who you think you are. Everything and everyone in your world is built off of that, including your SP. So many people have had the best results when they pull their energy away from SP and refocus it back on themselves, when they start loving themselves, when they start taking care of themselves, when they start going out with their friends again, having fun, doing their hobbies, like having interest outside of literally just manifesting a specific person. Please live your life outside of this. Please do things that make you happy. Please find fulfillment on your own before you allow another person to come in and attempt to fill that void for you, because if that version of you slips or if something happens and this person is out again, you're cold, who are you without this person? If you didn't fully fix that self-concept and you don't know who you are without this person, then where are you left? Where does that leave you? Being fully connected and tied, so codependent on this person that you have to have this person in your life treating you a certain way to be the way that you want to be? No, you're the way that you want to be, regardless of this person. This person is lucky enough that you have chosen them to come into your experience and get to experience how beautiful and wonderful and gorgeous you are. And they know that. And you know that. So that's why we're not accepting anything else. Manifesting an X-specific person is no harder or easier than any other manifestation. That's the only reason that some people think it's easier to just give up, stop manifesting an old SP, just call in somebody new. But I'm going to tell you a secret. If you don't fix your self-concept and you call in a new SP, you're still going to have the same issues. You're still going to run into the same scenarios that you didn't deal with while you were in your prior relationship. Because like I said, everyone is you pushed out. It starts and ends with you. Who you are being is who you are seeing in everyone and everything around you. So no, not manifesting your ex-SP and just choosing a new person is not the easy way out. You still at some point are probably going to want to deal with you, like I said, for not only SP related reasons, but just for life reasons, because you should live life knowing that you're the shit, honestly. Living life having a bad self-image, not thinking well about yourself and about your reality, not thinking that you're taken care of, or that your world takes care of you, or that all these things that come along with a negative self-concept, none of that makes for a fulfilling life. None of that is a nice way to live. I don't think anybody wants to have a horrible self-concept. Some people are stuck in a cycle of victimhood or a state of lack or desperation because it's their comfort zone, because it's all they've ever known. It's what feels good to them only because it's safe. It feels safe, even though it's really not safe for yourself. It feels unsafe to step into a new experience and to put your belief and your faith on the possibility of having a new outcome and to be disappointed. But the thing is, you're going to build your self-concept up so high and so rock solid that there's no possibility for disappointment because you get to choose. You're the operant power. So if you say that something is a certain way, then it is that certain way. If you say that you're getting a certain thing, you're getting that certain thing. If you say that you're getting a specific person and they're going to come in treating you like this, because of course they would, because they love you, they value you, they cherish you, and they see the value in you just like you see the value in them, why wouldn't this person come in reflecting that story to you? If you truly think that about yourself, there is no room for error. There's no room for, oh, maybe this isn't going to happen. Maybe this is actually hopeless. Maybe I should stop doing this. Maybe I'm delusional. Does this make me crazy? No. The only thing that makes you crazy is you. Do you think you're crazy? Do you think you're crazy? Do you think that it's stupid that you're manifesting back an ex-SP? Because if you think that, then why are you doing it? If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But if you do want to do it, focus. Just be. And just let it happen. Because that's all that needs to be done. Just change you. Change the story. So, for the ones who are struggling with writing the new story or changing the story, you don't even know where to start. List all the things that you want to experience with that new version of SP. Literally whatever it is, go into as much detail as you want and just make a list. Just make a list of all the things that the new version of SP entails. Who is this person? Literally, ideal version of SP. What does that look like? Write it down. Who do you need to be in order to allow this relationship to come in and for you to be able to sustain that? Who is the highest version of my SP? What version of myself do I need to be in order to let this person love me and feel safe? To feel safe and secure, like this is something that is solid, like this is something that is sustainable. What is the version of me that believes that is true? Write that down. Get really, really clear. Very, extremely crystal clear. There's no level of detail that is too much. Just get super duper clear on who these two versions of you guys are. Do whatever feels right for you. Just get it out of your brain and get it on paper or laptop or iPad or whatever. Now that you're clear about the goal, the end, this is the wish fulfilled, right? You have just now found your wish fulfilled. The state of the wish fulfilled is you being that version now. So you've already told yourself who this version is, what this person does, how this person acts, how this person thinks. You've detailed that. And so now it's your turn to start practicing being this person. How do you practice being this person? You can just do it. You can just make a decision to be more like this person, to practice in your everyday life, changing your script, having better inner conversations, putting yourself on a mental diet until you are thinking more in alignment with this person and you change your state. Or use a method. This is where the methods come in. Use your affirmations, use your scripting, use your visualization, make a mind movie, whatever feels good, natural to you, is fun for you, doesn't feel like it's work. Use that method, allow it to help you get into the state, and do your best, do your damnedest to carry that state around with you as much as possible. You're gonna fall off, especially if this is new, especially if it is an X-specific person. It might be a little more difficult for you to stay encapsulated in this version, especially if you're seeing opposite in the 3D or if something's triggering you, which is why you are literally going to incubate yourself and put yourself in a little cocoon, and then you're going to blossom like a beautiful butterfly with a beautiful new self-concept, and then you're not going to have to worry about that anymore because you're going to know who you are, right? Use whatever method you choose. Start practicing it, start getting into the state, and start that positive expectation of the new story, of the new version of you, of the new version of them, and of the story of you two being together. So from this point forward, you figured out who you are, you figured out who SP is, you figured out how to get you two together in a state that's harmonious and sustainable. Love that. Beautiful, loving, committed relationship. You figured out what that means to you. You know how to get into the state. You've picked your method. You're doing it. You're great. From this point forward, we are no longer entertaining the old version. That means no more fighting, no more arguing, no more checking social media, no more poking the 3D. Release the negative expectations, release the assumptions, release the old story, release the old version, and make space for the new version to appear. Now, if SP comes back in and they're not fully conformed, it is up to you how you are going to deal with that version. If it's not the version that you're calling in, you don't have to interact, or you can. If that's what feels like is right for you in that moment, and you feel like they're in a place that is conducive to your growth and to you guys moving forward together, and you want to take it from that point on and go ahead and start the journey together with you guys reconciled and in contact, then do that. But if it still feels like it's triggering you, if you still feel like it's still the old version, you don't have to have anything to do with it. You don't have to entertain it. Take your time, take it at your own pace, and do the process correctly so that you don't have to do the process again, so that we can let go of the process and just start being, so that you don't have to continue to do it over and over again, so that you're not making things more difficult for yourself. That's why you shouldn't be trying to manifest your SP if you haven't worked on your self-concept, because you're doing all this work affirming over and over and over again, doing all these imaginal acts. You manifest the version of them, and finally it's an old version of them. You guys break up again, or they trigger you, you guys get in a fight, and then you go back and you do the exact same thing, all the efforting, all the work, all the affirmations, all the whatever you're doing over and over again, expecting something different to happen. I'm just letting you know why I'm telling it to you the way that I'm telling it to you, why I'm asking you to focus on yourself, and why this is the surefire way to get your SP to come back. Not only to come back, but to stay for good, and for you to feel good in your relationship, for you to feel good about yourself, and for you to feel good about the person that you're with, so that you can feel like you're safe in your relationship, like you're loved, like this is something that's sustainable, and like it's healthy. That should be, hopefully, what you want, to be in a peaceful, loving, healthy, harmonious relationship. It's always going to come down to your state, always going to come down to who you're being. We have all the methods and all the things to help us to get into the state, but the most important thing is to be there now, to be in the wish fulfilled now, and to know that you're above the processes, you're above the effort. If you say that you are, these things do take repetition, they do take time in the beginning, because you're literally changing your perception, especially with things that are from the past. Give yourself grace and give yourself the space that you need to truly do this for you, to truly take care of you, and then allow somebody else to come in and take care of you. But first, do it for yourself, because you're capable, and because you're worthy, and because you should, because you don't need anybody to come in to save you, and nobody is coming in to save you. When you truly understand that the cycle breaker is you, and that becoming this new person will change the reflection in the mirror reality, I can promise you that SP will be back for good. So many wonderful things will show up in the 3D on top of that, because you've taken the time to get clear about who you are and what you deserve. And that is the most important thing. More important than any specific person, more important than any relationship, more important than any physical thing, any tangible item that you can manifest is you. You will always be the most important. And when you are the most important to you, SP's probably gonna come in thinking you're pretty damn important too. I really hope that I gave this to you in a way that clicks and in a way that makes you reflect for a moment, because this should be fun. This should be a fun thing. And you're more than capable of doing this. But when it starts to get stressful, when it starts to get into the work and the efforting and the trying and the straining and the neediness and the desperation, that's not fun anymore. Nobody's having fun. I want you to have fun, and I want you to do what's good for you, and I want you to feel good while you're doing it. And so that's why I explained it in the way that I did. And I hope that I did a good job of explaining it in a way that isn't off-putting to you and doesn't make you think, well, okay, maybe I should manifest my ex-SP. It's like, no, like I will manifest in an old SP, and it's gonna be great because I'm not manifesting an old SP, I'm manifesting the new old. Anyway, you get it. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for me today. I really hope you guys enjoyed and got something of value from this video. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.